guess we accidentally both played it at the same time.
Yeah. Although I feel like I don't know if yours was like a natural thing or if it was just like a coincidence. I'm not really sure. Mine sort of naturally came after Guardians. Like I had 5 days off work, and I was like, right, I'll spend 2 of these days playing Guardians, and then the rest of the time I didn't really know what I was going to do, and it sort of just like clicked. I was like, right, I've still got this buddy Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island thing. But I wasn't sure how far you were, because I wasn't sure how much you wanted to talk about it yet.
I finished it today for the podcast.
Good, I'm glad, because I was kind of worried. I put it in the dock last night, and I like scrubbed it and put something else just in case.
Yeah. No, I finished it because I thought you'd want to talk about it.
Yes, that's very true. Because you said to me you hadn't done any of the story yet, or like meant much of it. So I was like, oh crap, he's got like 3 or 5 hours to go.
Yeah, I do. It was a few missions, but I got them done. Done.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, yeah, I actually have something else to add on to that. I completed New Game Plus.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I did what you said, which is just speed run the main missions, because there aren't really that many, honestly. Like the reason why Ghost is long at all is because of everything but the main missions. Like the main missions, I got it done, including quite a lot of collectibles and side missions in like under 12 hours. So I'd say if I just sped run the main missions, it probably would have took me anywhere from like 6 to 8 maybe. So yeah, pretty easy, pretty good. I've got all the trophies apart from all the Legends one now, and that's it. I'm happy with that. I'm not really fussed about the Legends one at the minute, just because I don't have PS Plus. I don't really plan on getting it. Like, because Xbox Live is with Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I don't really need to buy anything else.
The only thing I would say in PS Plus's defense is you get the collection of some really classic PlayStation 4 games, and then you also get the free games every month, which are fairly decent so far.
They can be, yeah. But I think the only reason I'd ever want to play or get PS Plus now is if I needed to play online something, But there isn't really. I don't see myself playing any multiplayer games that are on PS5 at the minute. I'd probably just get it for Xbox now at this point. I think PS5 is solely for like exclusives at this point. And I think is that the Bloodline Masquerade game? Is that exclusive to PS5? I think it is.
I don't know.
I know it's out on PC currently, but I'm pretty sure they're releasing it only on PS5.
Okay.
So I'll probably be playing that. I think that might be multiplayer, so I might have to get PS Plus for like a week or something, or a month, or whatever it might be. We'll see. Here we are.
Yeah, so I played it because I had a few other things to play, but I was just like, I really want to play that Ghost.
Yeah, it's not long, so it's not too bad, but it's definitely like a good experience.
I got between like 8 to 10 hours, I think I put into it, so it was pretty hefty.
Yeah, I think I got about the same.
It was heftier than I expected, I think.
Me too, actually. Yeah.
Because it's £16 at retail if you don't get the PS5 editions, and there's 25 quid if you get those as well. So I just got literally the Iki Island stuff, and I was like, 16 quid's got quite a lot of money, but it was quite hefty. So how many days did you spend playing this stuff? Just one day?
What, the Ghosts?
Yeah, because you had days off.
It was probably like 2 or 3. Maybe 2.5.
That's the same length as the whole of the Guardians game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I mean, I probably put less time into Ghosts. Like, I spent 20 hours, about between 18 and 20 hours on Guardians, but I probably only put in about 10 to 12 hours with Ghosts. Like, I wasn't playing as long in the day. Like, it was the same amount of days, just not as many hours during the day. Like, I'd be doing other things along with Ghosts, I'd be doing, like, mobile games or YouTube or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Netflix, movies.
I really enjoyed it. It's one of those, Jay. I keep coming back to the Odyssey DLC because it builds on so much of what's already there. Like, it's not like there are some new characters and things, but it delves deeply into the main story in a way which you probably wouldn't expect. and you're like, wow, this. I actually felt that Jin had a better conclusion in this little piece of DLC than perhaps even the main story, perhaps, because I think he really comes to terms with his father's death, which is not a spoiler.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I forgot about it. It's weird. Like, I literally you obviously just played this DLC, and I obviously just played it. But as soon as I finished it, I just sort of forgot about what happened. But yeah, I agree. Actually, I think it was almost. This is both a good and a bad argument for our later debate.
Right.
But this almost feels like it should have been part of the main game, but not really. Like, it kind of makes sense that it was DLC. But I feel like it could have been like the sort of almost like an end game / post game for the main game. Like, this could have been, like let's say that the main game is in 3 stages, right? You've got the bottom part of the island, the middle part, and the top part. This could have been like the 4th stage. It's almost like a Pokemon game where, like, after you've beaten the Elite Four, there's always like a post game. I feel like this could have been like a similar thing for Ghost. But I mean,
like an epilogue kind
of
thing?
But it's fine that it was a DLC just because. But I think obviously they just wanted to get more money. I mean, it's not like they're trying to like get money from people, but it makes sense that Ghost. I think so obviously because probably the timing constraints. Like, they probably didn't have this done when the game came out 2 years ago. Right.
Agreed.
So this game came out I always forget. Was it 2019 or 2020? This game came out.
I thought it was 2019, but maybe it was only last year.
I think it might have only been last year. I swear, I genuinely think we've done this twice on the podcast.
I think we have, yeah.
I have to check every time because it pisses me off.
Yeah, 2020, July 2020.
Oh my god.
Isn't that depressing, Jay? Because we're not going to get a sequel, if ever, like for another 4 years.
I can't believe this game came out last year. That's so insane. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Fine.
Because I was like you. I was like,
oh no, we're not getting a sequel to this.
You don't think?
No. I mean, the story's it. That's it. There's no more. Technically, no more story to tell unless they just make something up.
Well, I saw an interview with the director, and spoiler, like minor spoilers, kind of, for the ending of Ghost. I'll give you 5 seconds to turn it off. Just skip like a minute, 2 minutes. We should be done. But the director was saying that the ending choice, there is a definitive one.
Yeah, I think the good one is where you don't kill him, and the bad one is where you do kill him.
Right.
He needs to survive because he needs to be able to work with the Shogun in the future. He needs to be able to like be the Jito for Tsushima.
Right. I think the director was elaborating on the idea that he's lost all his honor. So if he's lost all his honor, he wouldn't kill his uncle, kind of thing, because that would be the honorable thing to do, to kill him.
Well, no, I think because Jin
100%.
Jin is sort of
death,
like
samurai death.
Well, yeah, but the whole thing with Jin is that, I mean, yeah, I guess, but like he's sort of like gone past either you kill Lord Shimmer or you don't, but you killing him is like you going into the ghost line of the story, and you not killing him is still being the ghost, but you just maybe have a little bit more, I don't know, like you just can't kill the last, your last thread of family, I guess, right?
No, I see killing him as the samurai route.
Yeah, I guess so.
But anyway,
it's actually really hard. It's what makes it such a good game, I guess.
100%, dude.
It's hard to say.
I thoroughly enjoyed the DLC. I thought the side quests again were better than expected, and I think I'm not sure because we spoke about it. I'm not sure you realised it was in 60 frames, kind of thing. And then you spoke to me. You were like, "My God, it plays so good!" And I was like, "Yeah, it's in 60 frames now." And you're like, "Yeah, it wasn't before."
Well, no, I think it was in 30 on PS4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we played it in 60, and it's beautiful.
It is. Yeah, it's a big difference. Well, I don't know.
Beautiful.
It's a good difference.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I actually really liked the trophies and everything. They were fairly easy to get. There wasn't anything like missable. What, was there something missable?
I don't think so.
I can't even remember. I was following a guide, but I can't even remember if there was missable things. I think obviously missable in terms of you just don't collect them, like stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the extra stuff you did. I think the thing we spoke about was sort of like the moving of the controller for the flute.
Yes, good shout.
That
good shout.
was probably one of the most innovative, best things about the DLC.
Do you want to
I
explain
really
to the
enjoyed. It was
listeners,
like playing
Jay,
Guitar Hero, but in Ghost of Tsushima with a flute. Like that's kind of what it felt like to me.
Agreed. Do you want to explain
Right.
to
So
the
yeah,
listeners
right.
what
So
it is?
when through the DLC, you come across moments where you sort of like have memories of your mother at these sanctuaries because your mother taught you how to play the flute. That was like the whole thing.
And she's dead. She died.
She
ages
died
ago.
of like an illness when you were very young, and so you sort of like go through these memories and play these songs that attract either a deer at a deer sanctuary or a cat at a cat sanctuary that are sort of placed around the the island. And the song changes, and because of how the song changes, you get different pitches, and they're either like a bit smoother or they're a bit quicker, and you kind of have to move your control. You have to tilt your controller forward and backwards through this sort of like green line that goes in like a thing across the screen. And if you go outside of it, I guess you lose. I didn't actually lose a single one. They're actually really easy to do, but you have to sort of keep this ball from not exiting either side of the line. But you kind of like felt like you were actually playing the flute, like, and they were really good songs too. Like it had a progression to it. It was quite cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think some of the songs were off the score sort of thing.
Oh sure,
but
yeah.
Like you say, Jay, like it was basically a bit like the 6-axis stuff that they did on the PS3, I think, but like way better. Like you say, like as soon as they did that, I was like, why hasn't a game done this before?
I feel like there have been games. It's just I can't remember what they are right now. Like I'd have to like look up what games use tilt features.
Oh no, they have done, something. But not in that way. At least from my experience.
Well, not in the way of like having to like keep something balanced necessarily. I don't know. I feel like they would do that like let's say you're like playing a Tomb Raider game, and you have to walk across a really thin beam. Like I feel like you had to sort of do that. Well, it'd be cool if you could do that, but like left and right,
Yeah, for sure.
You could like turn that on and off or something.
Cool.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I like that.
I'm just wondering if there's any other shout outs for the director's cut, to be honest.
I really like the arena.
Oh yeah.
Did you like doing that, or have you not done that yet? I think you probably have.
Yeah, I've done that. Man,
where you've got to fight the people. Bro. All right, I'm good. You have to like fight these sort of like fighters that all have like different styles, and if you beat them, you get like you think you get the red dye merchant.
Dye merchant.
Yeah, because on the first in the main game, you get either the black and the white dye merchant, but in this one, if you finish the arena, you get the red dye merchant. I like that a lot. I thought that was quite smart.
The combat in the game is near perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is. Good. It's so satisfying. Like I'm like I'm pretty good at it. I'd say. Like you get to a point where you're just like you never get hit, basically.
Yeah.
And even if you do, you've probably got the charms on that whenever you kill someone, you gain all your health back anyway. So that's what I've got at least.
That's a good shout. I
did you? You more than likely got the monkey armor, and it's fully upgraded and everything.
Yeah.
I actually quite enjoyed that armor because it changed the parry system.
Sorry, are you talking about the armor in the monkey cave or the one at the top of the mountain shrine thing?
I want to say the cave, the one with the hat where it's got a monkey on it.
Yeah, I think it is that one.
Yeah, the one from the cave. So if what that armor allowed you to do is you couldn't parry in your normal time window. You had to perfect parry every time, which meant it sort of like gave you sort of like the risk of if you don't do it perfectly each time, you're going to get hit. And then when you do get it, you do like a 3 combo, which like is going to kill them most of the time anyway. I wear that like most of the time. Yeah, most of the DLC I had it on. Just I wanted to practice my perfect parries. I thought it was really fun.
I'm too scared to do that.
Oh, it was great. It felt like playing Dark Souls. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
The only criticism I have is I was playing it on hard.
Oh, that's
and
odd.
The last boss is such a difficulty spike. I can't even tell you. So I wasn't going to sit there for an hour to try and do it. So
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was difficult even on easy. I actually died
Yeah, it was really hard.
I had to do it twice, so I had to sort of figure out her patterns and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprised me, yeah.
And do you want to talk quickly about your director's cut for Death Stranding experience, or?
Yeah, I can go quickly. I mean, a lot of it was primarily just fixing a load of stuff, because when I transferred my save across from PS4 to PS5, it sort of like put you in like a new server. You weren't in the same one you were in before. So all the people that you sort of had who had built buildings and things to help you traverse around had gone. So I had to like basically just farm that, just try to get that all sorted. I had to remind myself actually that you can't get there's like when you do deliveries, you can get like the ultimate sort of like an S plus rating essentially whenever you do a delivery. And I didn't realize you couldn't do that unless you were playing the game on hard, so I had to like remind myself of that as well. But I haven't done the new mission, and I've tried out like one or two of the new equipments, but they're just sort of like upgrades of previous things, you know.
How many new missions are there for this?
I think there's just one or two. Like it's just like a underground kind of like I think it was Kojima's kind of way of putting Metal Gear Solid into Death Stranding. It's basically like a Metal Gear Solid emulator for Death Stranding. That's basically what it is. But I wouldn't even know where to go to get it, to be honest. It doesn't actually tell you in game where to go, so I might have to Google it and find out later on.
Standard. Is hard on Death Stranding?
No.
Okay.
I think if you came across
BB?
I forgot the bloody names of the enemies in this.
Are they not BBs?
No, BB is the baby is what you wear, the bridge babies, yeah, that's what BB stands for. Yeah, I think if you came across the enemies in the game, it probably would be a lot more. I mean, you'd just die.
Oh, what are they called? Forget it.
Yeah, I forgot to.
Forget it. Okay, fair enough. Well, if you play any more of that, hit us up, because I'm curious to... I assume it runs at like 60 frames 4K.
Yeah, I think that was probably the other thing. It just looks a lot better than it did. You know, that was like it's basically like getting an optimized version essentially.
Sure. Was it a cheap upgrade? Was it free?
Only a $5, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's way cheaper than Ghost.
I know.
How does that work? Oh.
I mean, it might as well have been free, honestly.
Content.
But I think having it being a $5, it sort of almost funds Kojima's next project a little bit, you know. Just a little extra, just to help him get started. It's kind of what I'm hoping, you know. Because I know he's making something right now, but nobody knows exactly what it is. It's kind of like another Death Stranding type thing, I imagine.
So Jay.
Yes, I like the card you got there. That's quite cool.
Which Avenger single-handedly protected the key from Ultron in Novigrad while its citizens were evacuated? A. Black Widow, B. Quicksilver, C. Scarlet Witch, or D. Iron Man?
Oh god, this from a movie?
I assume so, yeah.
I mean, I can't even remember. I haven't watched Ultron in so long. But if I had to guess, I feel like it couldn't be Scarlet Witch or Quicksilver because they were busy fighting off things, right? Unless by the key they meant that thing they were protecting the whole time. But that wasn't just one person. That was like a bunch of people protecting it. So I'd have to guess either. Well, I think I'd have to guess Black Widow, just because I don't think she was fighting along with the rest of them.
You are incorrect, I'm afraid.
Yeah, probably.
Apparently the answer is Scarlet Witch.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, it would make sense if she was just like... I mean, I know she was the last one standing, but I didn't know if that's what that meant or not.
What was your thoughts on their decision to kill Quicksilver in that film?
I was pissed off. But I think part of the reason was because they had the X-Men one, right? I'm not even sure. I mean, the fact that there's two Quicksilvers in the same bloody thing annoys me still. Because I always forget that the actor who plays Quicksilver in the one who died, at least, yeah, exactly, is buddy Kick-Ass guy. So I'm just like, because they made him look so different in the movie. I feel like he's got quite a flexible look. He's like one of those actors who can look very tangible, I guess, is that the right word, or like clay. I don't know, whatever you want to say.
Sure, they can morph differently.
Shang-Chi comes out tomorrow. I'm going to be watching that.
Awesome.
Disney Plus Day, let's go.
My topic this week, Jay, is a game you've already discussed, and I'm keeping on the Final Fantasy hype.
I actually forgot what your topic is. Let's go.
We're getting to the end of my kind of back catalogue of games which I played while I was waiting for my Series X.
Okay.
But I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, Jay.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm kind of glad, actually.
In the same way that Final Fantasy VII's coming about seemed to be written in the stars, in the way that the biggest culturally impactful things just like seem to line up at the right time in any media or any art form.
What do you
mean? Okay, what I mean is Oasis wouldn't be big if they came out in the 70s, or the Beatles wouldn't be big if they came out in the 90s.
I like this line of thinking. Go ahead.
So I just believe that truly impactful cultural phenomenons
happen at the right time. Yeah, right. It's a lot of it, like 50% of it is timing.
Right.
You also got to think that a lot of bands wouldn't be around if it wasn't for the Beatles.
Of course.
I actually thought about that today because they played Beatles on the radio.
And so, in that sense, Final Fantasy VII made a big cultural impact.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Final Fantasy VII Remake has pretty much done exactly the same thing. The stars have aligned to create, in my opinion, the best possible version of this game.
Okay.
I know that's quite a grand statement.
You have played 7 Remake, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we exist in a possible world, and out of all possible worlds, we exist in the one where the Final Fantasy VII Remake was
it is
the
pretty
best
cool.
possible incarnation.
Yeah, we could have easily been born in a different time to not enjoy it as much. You know? We were born at the perfect time.
Is superb, in my opinion. The real-time ability turn strategy combat might be the best JRPG Final Fantasy battle system I've ever played, personally.
Pretty decent, yeah.
I think the fact you've got control of every swing is consistently engaging, and then introducing abilities on top of that as a secondary layer just gives it so much more substance. And I've struggled to think of a better battle system, really. I'm struggling to think of what they'll do in the future.
I mean, it is sort of like the perfect meld of Final Fantasy VII's original ATB system with the Final Fantasy 15 sort of free flow, moving around, doing what you need to do kind of thing, right?
Definitely.
I'm really kind of curious what they're going to do with 16. Like, how are they going to have like a whole new thing? There's like a tweak on previous things. Is it going to be turn-based? I mean, I feel like at this point, Final Fantasy can no longer be turn-based, right? Which is odd to me because, I think turn-based is sort of reserved more for like mobile games and like smaller games now, right? Because I play a lot of turn-based games on my phone. Like I enjoy the hell out of them. But I think they're almost like small fry at this point.
Yeah,
kind of. They're just like they're kind of like I can a new RPG or a new Final Fantasy ever have turn-based? I don't think it can. It's kind of weird. It's kind of sad, honestly. Like the death of turn-based games from Final Fantasy has sort of already happened, it seems.
Yeah, sad, but also
an evolution.
I think we're getting. I think we're getting ultimately a better system. Personally, like it's more complex.
If it's anything like 7 Remake or 15, I'll be happy, honestly.
100%. And the presentation is also unbelievable, as most Final Fantasy games is. So this, alongside Spyro Reignited Trilogy, alongside some of the Halo remakes, for me, this is among the most dramatic remakes out there, period. The amount of time they spent on it, the effort, and most importantly, the amount of love they put into it, I think is pretty obvious. What are you going to say, mate?
Did you play this on PS4 or PS5?
PS4.
Oh, okay, just making sure, because I know that the PS5 version is like infinitely better. I just haven't tried it out yet.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I'm only ever going to try it out once I play the DLC. So
yeah. I just felt that when I was playing through it, like, even though it had kind of a troubled development, apparently, like, every single second of gameplay, every line of dialogue, and every combat encounter was hitting in the right spot. Every single, like, there wasn't a single line from the characters, from their development, from their delivery. Like, it was just perfect to me. Like, I never was like, well, that sounded funny, or they wouldn't say that. All of it just made complete sense to me.
I'm kind of worried that if I went back and replayed it, I probably wouldn't like it as much.
I know what you mean.
Like, I feel like there's almost like a first time playthrough or a first time read or a first time watch of a type of entertainment where that first time is the only time you'll ever enjoy it as much as you did then. You'll never enjoy it the same again. Like, it'll either be a worse version next time or just a slightly less as good version. Like, it just seems every time I watch something, it seems to get worse and worse every time I do it, which is just annoying. But
I know what you mean. It's
I'm
a
worried
bit like
about
Hot
that.
Fuzz, right? When I spoke to you about Hot Fuzz, it was like, you don't watch Hot Fuzz anymore. Like, it's on, but we know everything that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of got to the point where you can't watch it again because you've seen it too many times.
Yeah.
Although there are some movies that aren't like that for me, like Breakfast Club. I can watch that. Like, if I was made to watch that every day, all day, I'd probably be fine with that.
Fair. Despite everything I've said thus far, I still do love Final Fantasy 15 and the originality that world has. But I think Final Fantasy 7 Remake does borrow some things off 15, and
a hell of a lot,
that's great. The story isn't as convoluted as the game may make you think. We're going back to 7 Remake here. So I doubted my comprehension of the story when I was playing it, to the point where I was tricking myself into not understanding elements which I actually kind of did understand.
Yeah.
I just needed Maximilian Dude to explain the whole thing to me.
That's also partly true. He's very good at explaining the Final Fantasy history. I also did this with 13 and 15. I sort of went to like a wiki and spent about 8 hours across 3 or 4 different Final Fantasies, just reading like the history, the lore, and the entire story, and trying to understand it. And I think that helped. Like, once you know what the story is, like once you can comprehend it properly from like the very beginning to the very end, it kind of just like makes the game a hell of a lot more enjoyable, I think. Because I did this all before the game came out, because I needed to understand it better. I didn't want to go in like totally blind on this one. It just couldn't happen. I knew I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I did.
Well, dude, funny you say that, because literally my next point, I went to go watch a story summary of the original Final Fantasy VII on a YouTube video, because I was like there is no way I'm going in this without not knowing the original story.
It's difficult. Yeah, it'd make it less.
And I would have highly advised everyone who hasn't played this to go do that if they haven't played.
Even if you think you know, you don't. There's so much more that you don't know.
You don't know. And by the way, for what it's worth, I watched a story summary of Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, and Final Fantasy maybe 12.
Yeah, I did. I did 7, 13, and 15. Even though I knew like what happens in most of those, I think I needed to like really go in depth with all of them.
Yeah, and at least from the summary videos, I still thought 7 basically had the best story. Like, when I saw the video, I was like, I'm getting why it's so impactful.
There's a reason why it's so good. I think it's almost like I guess do you call them like an epic? It's like it's basically like a Lord of the Rings. It's kind of like it spans. Its reach is a lot wider than just the odd Final Fantasy story. Like, you get like a one-off Final Fantasy that doesn't really go anywhere, but Final Fantasy VII sort of is very broad. Like, it has so much going on that you can't just get it all done in one entity. It kind of needs to be spread across time, and across multiple games and whatever. I'm kind of glad they're making more than one. It kind of they really, it's a good idea. I'm really hoping that it's a trilogy in the end, but I think it might just be the 2.
I know what you mean, especially after the God of War becoming 2 games. You do wonder. I would also advise people to watch Advent Children, because like,
oh my god, yes,
yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying it's a good film, but what I am saying is
that's my childhood right there.
When I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, all I wanted was Final Fantasy VII, and all I can say is Advent Children delivers on more Final Fantasy VII. You know what I mean?
Advent Children sort of splits a lot of Final Fantasy VII fans. Like it's one of those things where you either loved it or you hated it. Like
Right.
it almost sort of like, I think to some people it's sort of like messed with the equilibrium. It kind of messed with the idea of what the canon was for Final Fantasy VII. I'm pretty sure Advent Children is canon. It's just sort of like
Definitely.
it's just like a
Yeah.
side thing, you know. It's almost like a bridge between certain parts of the story.
Definitely.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
And it, well, I won't say that because it is a bit of a spoiler, but I do recommend you watch it. And Jay, dude, when I was watching it, I'm sure I must have told you this when I
Probably,
watched it
yeah.
because it was
Go
a
on.
while ago. But I was just like, man, I can totally see why Jay used to watch this like every day on his PSP. Like, I
Yeah,
just totally
I still
see
have
it. Like,
it. Oh, I still have the
dude,
like little PSP thing. I have it somewhere. I don't know
the
where it is, but
UMD. Oh,
yeah.
dude. I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, you could easily put this on in the background every
Oh,
Sunday
dude, I
morning.
fell
Like, you
asleep
could
to
easily
that.
just do it.
I fell asleep to that movie every night for like 2 years. Like legit, like legit. I actually think
Do
I
you know every
don't
word,
watch.
then?
I don't know. It's one of those movies where I don't know all the words. It's just sort of like I would only watch the first like 20 minutes of it and then fall
Right.
asleep. So I've
Right.
probably only actually watched the movie from start to finish maybe 5 times, but I've started the movie about 200 times. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
I just fall asleep to it and then wake up and it'll be over. So yeah, whatever. I
Amazing.
think the music, like the end boss battle thing, is just like stuck in my head. Just because I probably like had it on and it was just sort of interfering with my sleep, so it's like I can bring that music to mind at any point, you know.
As in, like, the Sephiroth battle
Dun
music.
dun dun. Yeah. Dun
Sephiroth!
dun dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
it's so
Amazing.
classic. It's so
Amazing.
classic.
Back to 7 Remake. I
Mm.
thought the length was great as well. It doesn't feel like it's only like a third of the original game. I'm not
I
even sure
can't
if it
even
is
remember how
that.
long I spent on it. How long was the game? It was like 30 hours? I can't even remember.
I
Or was it
mean,
way
we're
more than
talking
that?
about God Lock Speed and Nick Speed here.
I
I
can't.
think mine was between 30 and 40.
Oh, okay, yeah, mine might have been. I think I had more hours on it just because I went back and tried to get. I think I played through it twice because I needed to go. Actually, was it twice or 3 times?
Sorry, I thought you were talking about just the story, just first time playthrough.
Yeah, I think
I
just
think
first time
overall
it
I've
might have
got
been
probably
about
about
30
50,
something. Yeah,
54
okay.
hours or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm probably somewhere in the same ballpark. I can't even remember.
I think I want to say you were in the 30-hour
Did that come out in
area.
2020, like September 2020, right?
March.
Or was it this year?
Was it? Oh god, no, it wasn't this year. Was it? I thought it was March 2020.
Oh my god, that came out before Ghost?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
No,
big time.
my head is so messed up when it comes to like. Oh, it's April. My
April
god, that
2020.
came out before Ghost of Tsushima. How is that even possible? The time does not add up right now.
Dude, time. We lost time. We lost time a while ago.
Yeah, 2020 just didn't exist to me, honestly.
I know. It never. Everything feels maximized rather than stretched, in my opinion. Like, it genuinely felt like there were storylines and missions where it just felt like it was building on the world and the characters rather than stretching it. Like, The Hobbit is stretching.
Yeah,
It's not building. Whereas 7 Remake is building.
yeah.
And I never heard
And it's
the original
changing it
game
too.
soundtrack, Jay. But this game's music,
Yeah,
along with everything else in it,
dude, that's like
makes
this
me
thing we
feel
always come back to.
just
Like Final Fantasy, they have music down. They don't have a single game with bad music in it.
well, now someone's going to go prove you wrong, but
I
I
don't
agree
care.
with you.
It's like every Final Fantasy game, the music came from the heavens, you know.
Yeah.
It's just perfect, and it also seems to work. Like it was genuinely curated for the like ambient kind of feeling and vibe you get from the game too. Like if it's quite a dark version, like you're gonna get a bit more of a darker theme, you know. It's just it works out perfectly.
It's so weird because the music made me feel like a kid gamer, even though I never played it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is extraordinary. Like, it genuinely, it was one of those games where I was like, wow, this is making me feel like a kid.
I don't know why, but the ghost section of the game, with the train.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's just like that came to mind today, even though I didn't realize that was your topic. For some reason, it just popped in my head today. I have no idea why, but I like really enjoyed that bit.
I think all these things that I've discussed
Yeah.
provides an experience that to me is as new and inspiring as the original Final Fantasy VII, at least in my concept of what that game was. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake might genuinely be the best Final Fantasy game ever made. I mean, that is absurd to me. And
not
also,
to me. To me, it isn't,
why...
but I can see why you say that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying it's my favorite.
No,
I'm just saying it might be the
in like
best.
a general terms. I think technically it is the best Final Fantasy game ever made. Yet.
Because yes, I know people are gonna be like the original Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, yes, but that's unplayable now.
Yeah, it's not unplayable. It's just like
I know.
It's just you'd have to be from the time to really understand. I mean, it's actually difficult to play unless you were like around when it first came out.
And
it's
just
quite harsh of a game to look at now.
yeah. That's what I mean by unplayable.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I get the charm of it because I tried it a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I have it,
but I can totally get why it would be like amazing at the time, because I'm sure if me or you, like, if we ever sat down together and played it, we would have been like, what?
Yeah, but we weren't born then. We were born at a time when that had already been, and we'd sort of grown up, seeing this evolution of just graphics getting better and better. So just we can't really like. There's no hype there necessarily,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And fingers crossed, the next games or game, whatever happens, will continue this trajectory. Because I do think that it will look upon this time and be like, so you guys played Final Fantasy VII Remake when it first came out?
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely see it as that special.
I guess
like,
so,
that sounds
yeah.
preposterous, but
no.
like, I just think it is really special. Maybe it's because I haven't played the original, maybe, but I just think it's an amazing game. Like, truly, truly amazing. Like, when I played it, I was like, man, this game, like,
it's definitely an experience. Yeah.
It might be the best game since Red Dead 2, kind of thing, like that level. And just lastly, Jay, Tifa is the hottest video game character of all time.
Okay, well, depending on what age you are, that answer to that question tends to change. Like, I think some people would say it was Lara Croft. Other people would say it's Bayonetta.
I thought you were going to go more. Some people say Aerith. Some people say Jessie, but I don't know.
Oh, who you referencing from what? Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, I was just
Aerith. Yeah, Aerith.
I was thinking more like across time.
Sure.
I don't think you would. I think that if you ask people from Final Fantasy who's the hottest person from Final Fantasy, they'd probably say Tifa every time.
Oh man,
like Tifa's just it, and the bit where you have to like wear the dresses and everything.
Oh my god!
And just like so I'm guessing that you could have a different dress depending on what choices you made. I think that was actually one of the trophies, right? You had to get all 3 dresses, or all 9 dresses, depending on which choices you. Yeah, that's kind of insane.
Yes, I'm still in my head, Jay. I'm still thinking about hard mode.
Oh yeah, no, I can't. I tried. I'm not even going to attempt it.
But
I can't.
It's got a high percentage of trophy.
You'd have to play the game and get max out everything just to even have a chance of doing most of that.
Oh mate, that's the easy bit.
It's doable.
Right gear,
it's just I can't be asked.
That's the easy bit.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
I'm actually not far off. Like, I reckon if I put about 15 hours in, I could probably do it, but I can't be asked to put that in at the minute. Right now, I just don't really feel like it.
Well, that's it, mate. I just wanted to gush about 7 Remake because I haven't done it on the show. I'm glad to get it off my chest because, man, that game's amazing. I spoke to my brother's mate. I convinced him to play FF15, or he played it, and I was like, "Oh, don't you love it?" And he was like, "Yeah, nobody else did." And then I convinced him to play 7 Remake, and he was just like, "Wow!" And I was like, "Yeah." Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I bought my dad Final Fantasy VII Remake for his birthday this year, so he's had it since September. I haven't asked him if he's played it all the way through yet.
Mark.
But knowing him, he probably isn't very far. Or like, at least he probably got like a good amount of way in, but he just doesn't really. He'll have a lot of time to play it. So I have to catch up with him on that.
Too busy playing Cyberpunk or The Elder Scrolls Blades.
No, I don't know.
Or Genshin.
He doesn't play Genshin.
I know. I'm taking the mick out of mobile
I know,
games.
you're a duffer.
Yeah.
All right.
Jay, should we move on to your interlude?
Yeah, I forget what it is. Remind me.
Elden Ring.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So Elden Ring, it's currently in beta, which my dad actually has a beta key. I think he's playing it, or has been playing it since it came out.
Your dad's a jammy guy, isn't he?
He gets beta codes for everything. Yeah, it's out. I haven't actually watched much of people playing it, like the little beta that there is, but I watched the 19-minute 4K sort of gameplay exclusive
Same.
video that came out, and I think it kind of made me go, "Oh, this is why I like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I think I'm going to be getting this game now. Like, I think I'm actually going to be getting Elden Ring. I don't know if I'm going to be getting it day one, but I'll definitely think about it. It's made me go, oh, this might be a sooner rather than a later purchase. I'll have to see what I'm playing and what's, because I think Pokemon Legends Arceus comes out around the same time. It's been delayed, isn't it? Elden Ring to like February.
Yeah.
Because it was coming out in January and it's now coming out in February.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So
Yes.
there might be a good time frame, just depending on what else comes out in that time. So we'll see. But I tend to not play a lot of the Soulsborne games until they've been out for a while, because I like to research them for long enough that I can sort of like almost already know how to finish the game before I even play it. If that makes sense. So what I'll do is I'll watch a bunch of speedrunners play it. I'll watch people do playthroughs. Then I'll get it myself and just like copy what they do, basically, just so I know, like, I don't miss anything. I'll follow like a guide or something.
I think you do you.
Yeah,
but I imagine
that's how I enjoy games, like the Souls and Dark Souls games.
I imagine there'll be a few people out there saying, "Isn't the whole point that you go in blind and you don't know what's coming?" kind of thing.
No, I mean, yeah, I understand that, but that just annoys me to no end.
There you go.
That just kind of makes the game. Actually, I get more frustrated at a game like that. Like, I'd much rather just have an easy time. Like, I've been surprised through games, gone in blind and done. Like, I've been and done it. I don't need to keep doing it,
Dude, mate.
Fool me once.
I'm with you. I'm in your corner.
Fool
I'm
me
in
once.
your corner.
Fool
I
me
played
twice.
Wolfenstein 2 on easy. You know what I'm saying? I played Wolfenstein 2 on easy.
Okay.
I'm in your corner, mate. I'm in your corner.
All right. So yeah, I'll probably be getting that, but I forgot how good the game looks. And
Right,
I think it's supposed to be in 60 frames.
I saw a couple of dips, I believe.
Yeah, well, I think the trailer that was online, unless you watched the specific 4K version, it didn't look very good. I think it was actually in 30 frames unless you were watching it in the 4K version. So
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I think there's like speculation
right,
that it's supposed
Jay.
to be 4K 60.
On the YouTube, right? So let's say we watched it on our 4K TV.
Yeah.
And we had powerful enough internet to stream the 4K. Am I right in saying that YouTube still doesn't video 4K?
No, it does.
It does.
Yeah, YouTube has
it doesn't
4K
downscale it or something.
No, you can choose if you want to watch it in 1440 or 2160 or even higher. I think you can go up to 8K on some YouTube videos.
Right. Okay.
It just depends on whether the person has uploaded it to that high of a frame. Like if you want to watch, if you want to consistently watch 4K videos, go to the slow mo guys. They've always got they upload all their videos in 4K.
Sure. So the cogs were turning for you when the
I forgot how good those kind of games are, and it's definitely like this game might as well be Dark Souls 4. Like that's basically what it is. It's just like an upgraded version of previous things. But I think we're starting to get to a point now where the Souls games are starting to like really become a lot more streamlined. Like a lot less janky, I guess. You know what I mean by janky, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, so janky is kind of like Fallout 3 is janky.
Yeah.
Skyrim is janky.
Not polished.
No, it's polished, but just has a charm in the fact that it's not like the best looking or the best. Like the graphics that it has is a choice, not a mistake. But it's like a deliberate.
I wouldn't assume janky with graphics. I'd assume it with gameplay.
No, janky, it can mean anything that is janky. This is really weird that I have to explain what janky. Okay, janky is almost like gross. It's kind of like, oh, that's disgustingly cool, you know? Like it just kind of
Right,
works
fair
because
enough.
of how it works because it doesn't work. Or there's like glitches, or there's like deliberate like things that happen, but they can like be annoying or be beneficial, like almost like glitchy, but like in a good way. Like a speed
Mhm.
runner glitchy, you know, like games that
Mhm.
allow you to mess around with the way that walls work and that you can like go through the map and stuff like that. That's what janky kind of is in terms of games. But I don't think Elden Ring will be that janky. I'm kind of looking forward to how people are going to speedrun it though. That's like my main. Whenever a new Souls thing comes out, it's right. How can this game be speedrun? And how will Maximilian enjoy? How much will he enjoy the game? Like I
Yeah.
know he's going to be like going crazy over it because I think there's actually a game coming out at the same time that he's worried that it's going to clash. I think KOF 15 comes out at the same time, so we'll have to see.
And you've obviously got that open world element as well, but I don't
Yeah,
want
they've
to chat
changed
too
that.
much,
It
Jake,
looks
because
weird, but I like
yeah,
it. It's
I know, I know we've got a lot to go through still. But I spoke to some mates who like the Soulsborne series and stuff, and they were saying about how like there's reused animations from
yeah.
Dark Souls 3 and stuff, and
It's almost
it's
like, to
causing up a
me,
bit
this
of a
is kind of like a
fuss.
Pokemon game. I know I keep referencing Pokemon today, it's because we talk about it later. But a lot of Pokemon games are just like reused animations, reused sprites, but just improved every time. And
Right.
over time, it'll get better and better. Like this, I'm not like, if you compare Dark Souls 1 to this game, it is like graphically, it's fairly similar. Obviously, like a hell of a lot more improved. Like it still has the general feel and look to this, to sort of like Dark
Yeah.
Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
But it is like the animations are like the new stuff they've put in this game is kind of insane. Like it's kind of like the thing that a lot of people had imagined would be in the Souls games from like day one.
Right.
So it's kind of like, yeah, we're almost at like the pinnacle of what I think a lot of the Souls games can become. Like they're kind of like becoming like really amazingly like well put together, you know.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I have to see, I have to see. Yeah,
Jay,
yeah,
do you
I'm
mind if we
hyped.
move on to the good? Good.
What we're moving
I'm
on to?
excited
The
for you.
news.
I will definitely watch a playthrough of Elden Ring. So yeah, let's go to the news, mate. Let's go to the news. Let's do yours first. So first up, Todd Howard from Bethesda
Uh-huh.
had an insightful interview with Ryan McCaffrey over
certainly
at
did.
IGN Unfiltered. He heads up that little podcast series
Mm.
where he talked about Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, Skyrim. Quote, I believe this is what Jay wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I want to get your
In
opinion on this.
in that interview, he quoted, "Quote: We felt doing something like Starfield, ellipsis. We'd been wanting to do something else for a long time and play in a new universe, comma. So if not now, hyphen, I can't keep saying this. This is ridiculous. I'm just gonna read it.
Please
I'm
do.
going back in time. We started right after Fallout 4, so 2015. If not now,
Jesus.
when?
6
It
years.
felt like if we didn't do it then, the when could be never." End quote.
Right.
Got there in the end. So in short, they felt after Fallout 4 that if they didn't make Starfield now, they were never going to make it. So
True.
is that what you want to point out, Jay?
Not really.
Okay. What did you want to point out?
The fact that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be put a little bit on the back burner because of Starfield.
Okay. I feel like we've covered this though
When?
on the podcast.
I don't remember talking about it.
So when they came out, the E3 2018,
Yeah.
they were like, Fallout 76 is coming out this year. We
Yeah.
all know how that went. Then they were like, Starfield's coming next. Okay. And then they were like, after Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6 will come out.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I've never seen the making of Elder Scrolls 6 being in main production until Starfield.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that he kind of made the point to, we had like a level of pre-production on Elder Scrolls 6, but they've sort of put that even further behind because they wanted to sort of push more with Starfield. They kind of want to get to the end of Starfield now and get ready for release. So they've sort of like completely stopped 6 until that's all finished, basically. I think that's what he was alluding to, at least. And I was
Let
just
me
kind of like,
let me see if I
okay.
can find the quote for your. And you're disappointed about this, I guess.
No, not necessarily. I just wanted to see, like, where you sort of were with 6 and Starfield and all that kind of stuff. Because I know I think we spoke about Starfield last week, didn't we?
Yeah, or the week before, maybe.
Yeah, just about you thought it would be like amazing, and I was kind of skeptical or something.
Yeah. No.
I still have no idea exactly how the game's going to be until I see gameplay. I'm not really like that hyped. It's kind of like, yep, I'm sure the game will be good. If it isn't, it isn't. If it is, it is. I mean, I still can't believe that they're making a space game. Like
Right.
it kind of just seems a bit not out of their wheelhouse, but like like they're sort of known for their fantasy stuff, right? So it's kind of like, wow, okay, we're dropping the fantasy stuff and moving to space. It kind of just seems like a bit of a jump, but I'm sure they'll do fine.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Starfield's a very, very pivotal game for that studio.
I feel like we don't have enough information about what the actual game is.
Well, he said in the interview, it's the best parts of Skyrim in space.
I mean, if you just saying that just makes me think Skyrim in space. It literally just makes me think like Fallout, Skyrim, just another RPG but in space. I'm trying to think how that would work though. Like, would you be jumping from planet to planet? Like, what's the idea?
Yes. I think jumping from planet to planet.
I mean, this just makes me think of like No Man's Sky, basically. Like, is it kind of like, I feel like this has already kind of been done with No Man's Sky and Outer Worlds or whatever it is, right?
I think it's fair to say that Outer Worlds would be a kind of
best comparison.
A second cousin once removed to.
I mean, it is because it was Obsidian did it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Obsidian beat Bethesda to the punch. Like they sort of like beat them to the whole like space thing. They beat them by a long time too.
I think.
When did Outer Worlds come out? Like 2018.
Yeah, I think
kind of insane.
Starfield will be much more impressive, though.
I hope so. I really hope that Starfield blows all those other space RPGs out of the water. Like I really hope that this is the thing. This like becomes their next Skyrim, because Skyrim's sort of become a meme at this point in terms of it being like the one game, but that Bethesda has like a million versions of, and it's on every console.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that they do that again, just with this.
Next up, the president of Square Enix, Yosuke Matsuda, sorry if I butchered the name, has expressed Avengers wasn't quite as successful as they would have perhaps liked. By the way, apologies, both of these come from IGN. All the links are in the sources in the description. We overcame a variety of unexpected difficulties in the final phase of the game's development, including needing to transition to work from home due to the pandemic. We were unable to surmount these challenges and release the game, but it has unfortunately not proven as successful as we would have liked. End quote.
It just sounds like damage control to me, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's kind of them being like, oh, we're blaming the pandemic on the game being crap.
I think.
So I think one of the things they talked about was that they said Crystal Dynamics wasn't the right choice in the fact that they didn't have any experience with a games of service game.
Right.
And that had they chosen someone else, if they could go back and choose another person, they'd choose someone else, basically. But
that mean you go, duh.
Yeah, duh. But I was also thinking, like, would that have changed the characters that were in the game? And would that have changed the story of what happened in the game? Like, would it still be the same? Or would it be different, do you reckon? Like, was the story and everything came... Yeah, like, if it didn't... would it still be the same? Like, did the story and everything come from Marvel or Square Enix? Or did the story and how the game, like what characters were chosen for it, come from Crystal Dynamics? Like, I have a feeling that Marvel actually had a bit more say in how the game was made than what is perceived to be that way. Like, I have a feeling. Yeah, exactly. I have a feeling that they wanted to push that just so they could push the Kamala TV show or movie that's coming out or whatever. They wanted to sort of get her in the zeitgeist. It's, look, she's a proper character. She should be a part of the Avengers. It's like, yeah. I mean, if you were born in like 2008, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, not for everyone else.
And lastly, for Jay's batch of news, Reddit user Sear, it comes from IGN again. Reddit user Sear Pumpkin shared a Toy World magazine interview where general manager of Warner Brothers Rachel Wakely hinted a release window for Hogwarts Legacy would be after Fantastic Beasts 3 film.
Yeah, I'm
So,
not sure how
quote-
that's finished yet, but yeah.
Sorry, do you want to just talk?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when that Fantastic Beasts film is coming out, but I have a feeling it's like 2022. So
Yeah, I think it's early 2022.
okay. So yeah, I don't know
Okay,
how much you
again,
know
Jay-
about this Harry Potter game.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah,
Let me be very clear about this. Again, Hogwarts Legacy is not going to come out until 2023. That I'm not saying anyone else has said that.
I think it'll be late
I'm saying
2022.
I think you're mad.
I think it'll be November, this time next year.
I think if it comes out next year, it will not be ready.
No, I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to get pushed. It's going to get delayed until November. It's supposed to, I reckon it's going to be release date's going to be middle of 2022.
Yeah,
They'll push it.
yeah.
They'll push it to the end of 2022, and it
Yeah.
still won't be ready. But they'll release it
Yeah.
anyway, and it'll have a similar release to what Cyberpunk did, in that it just doesn't work that well.
I like it.
Yeah.
This
Like
isn't
most
against
games.
the developers, by the way. We hope your game's
No,
amazing.
I hope the game is bloody
but-
brilliant because I love Harry Potter. But yeah, chances are that's how most games come out nowadays. Is they come out too early, not cooked enough, just because people want their money sooner rather than later. You know.
Jay, you bring up a fair point because, like, there is a hundreds of millions of pounds opportunity to make an amazing Harry Potter game, an amazing Lord of the Rings game. Like, where are these? An amazing Star Wars game, an amazing Marvel game.
I mean,
Where are these games?
we had the Star Wars one with Fallen Order, right?
But that's like the first good Star Wars game we've gotten in 10 years.
Yeah, I know. And the Midnight Suns even got pushed and it got delayed. I don't think that game was going to be any good anyway. I mean, necessarily compared to what we should be getting. I feel like if I mean, the last good Marvel game was Spider-Man.
Right.
You know, we need another one. Like that game, like made records in terms of sales. Like just make another one of those but with a different character, and one that people actually like.
Well, I guess Insomniac are doing that with Wolverine now, aren't they?
Oh, that's true. They are doing Wolverine. Yep, you're right. I forgot.
But
about
you're
that.
right, Jay. Like,
Well done.
I think we both agree. Like, just where are these games? Like, a Skyrim set in Lord of the Rings universe. Like, that is literally going to sell 10 million copies. That is literally going to sell 10
I have a
million
feeling there's
copies.
like a bunch of Marvel and Star Wars stuff in the pipeline. It's just they're in either the very early stages of development or like very smack bang in the middle of development. And we'll probably hear something about it in the next couple of E3s. You know,
Yeah.
just
hope so.
you know, just like classic. But it's not done yet. Like it's probably being thought of, just not made. And they'll probably
Like,
ruin
what,
it like
I
they always do.
I guess as well, Guardians was a good Marvel game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Guardians. Yeah, you're right. That was actually pretty decent. Yeah.
But again, we're talking about what, 2-3 games in the last.
Yeah, and they're not that
7 to
substantial
8
either.
years.
Like I think the most substantial Marvel game has been Spider-Man. Like Guardians wasn't necessarily very substantial. It was pretty basic.
Defo.
Yeah.
Defo. Jay, I've got some breaking news. Do you want me
Uh-oh.
to take a look at it? Because I'm afraid it
Yeah,
might
go
give
on.
me a spoiler of what Xbox games are in development.
We'll see.
Do we care about this? What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I'll just say it, and we'll cut out if we don't want to talk about it. Breaking news. Beep 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 beep.
Nah, forget it.
Okay.
Just rumors and speculation. Okay, so next up, Jay.
I like rumors
I
and
want to-
speculation.
Well, you'll see it after the show, but it's basically just Obsidian and Compulsion are working on 2 games. Like,
That could be anything.
they've
Who are
got code names
Compulsion?
as well. Compulsion made We Happy Few.
I'm not a great fan of them, but their art style is very similar to Obsidian, so it makes sense.
They, I really wished I liked We Happy Few, but I didn't,
Nope.
unfortunately.
Oh well.
I only played it for like an hour.
Just hope they
So-
make something good now.
Yeah, I know. They've been working on it for ages, I guess.
Yes.
My stories this week, Jay. Firstly, I wanted to bring up the fact that my thumb's just gone out of place. No, so you know Valhalla, right? Okay, so these discovery modes, I feel like I've got to tell you what they are.
I don't have a
bit.
clue what it is.
Okay,
Go on.
okay. So when they entered the most recent era of Assassin's Creed, that being Origins, alongside Origins, a few months after the release, because they were still, they've supported these games a lot for single player games with free updates and shit. You know that,
Sure.
and DLCs. They released something called Discovery Mode, which is basically a non-combative mode where you walk around as an NPC or a character, and you basically go in different areas in the game, and it gives you snippets of historical information about that area.
Yeah.
So it could be about the food they ate. It could be about the architecture.
A
it
battle
could be about
that happened,
people of interest,
it might be.
battles.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an educational mode in Assassin's Creed, and they did that for Odyssey as well. So I assume they would do, and I assume they were going to do it for Valhalla. So Jay, this is another evidence piece of the algorithm not working properly. Okay, Jay, because not only did I not realize that AC Valhalla's Discovery Mode is out, it came out nearly a month ago.
Yeah. There was an update about a month ago. I think that had around 50 new things they added, but I'm not sure what that included. I'm guessing Discovery Mode is what that included.
God, well, anyway.
I didn't even see it pop up anywhere. It's odd, but
I didn't get through Origins or Odysseys, but because we're here and now in Valhalla, I think I'm gonna play through it.
Valhalla only came out a year ago, so
yeah, exactly.
Fairly
year
recent.
Anniversary of a couple of days ago, I think.
Actually,
so I'm gonna play through it. I'll let you know how it is.
I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? It came out yesterday, a year ago.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the Series X came out November 10th, and it came out day one. So.
Right.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Okay. So I'm gonna play through it. I think it's a bit more story based than the others.
Okay.
But I'll let you know. But I do want to play it. And also, Jay, quick one on that. I double checked Valhalla. There is a couple new achievements on these new Tombs of the Fallen they've added.
Okay.
They're very easy. I've already done them, so you can check them out if you want. But it's quite easy. So
I'm not fussed about the achievements on Valhalla necessarily.
This next story comes straight from Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, at his Twitter account. So basically, he did a tweet yesterday, November 10th, saying Horizon 5 is the biggest Xbox Game Studios launch ever.
That's fine. That's so cool.
4.5 million players thus far,
including
peak
me.
Current 3 times higher than Horizon 4.
Okay.
So
that's kind of insane.
What are your thoughts on this?
I'm very happy about it because it kind of proves that Horizon isn't exclusive, isn't it? It's an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of proves that Xbox have still got it. It's just they need to be very good about what they do, right?
Mm.
They need to sort of they need to sort of maintain this momentum at this point. Like I'm hoping that what they've got in the pipeline is just as good as this. Like they sort of sprinkle in like a really big thing. Like I feel like this has probably made their Game Pass thing like skyrocket. I imagine. Like I'm sure there's probably a bunch of people who went, oh, you can get Forza 5 on Game Pass, and it would usually cost me £70 to buy it, but if I just pay £11 this month, I can play it for the whole month. Like I'm sure loads of people probably did that. So yeah, just
and I think
more
that's
beneficial for everybody.
Right? Is that like Halo Infinite will come out next month, a month today?
Yeah, people are talking about that on Twitter at the minute. Actually, I noticed.
And like I think that will convert Game Pass subscribers, and I think that's their hope. But the only thing I want to talk about, Jay, on this is I think it's great, and personally I think they're dominating the racing market at the moment. I just everybody loves these Horizon games, but I don't know, like the 4.5 million players, most of them are going to be Game Pass subscribers, so they're not paying for the game. So I'm just wondering whether basically Xbox are going to have all these first party studios making these games, but then have the main revenue come from either microtransactions or just Game Pass subscribers, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can get the special pass, right? For there's you can, if you have Game Pass, but you don't own the game, you can basically just buy the thing that gives you the season pass, it gives you the VIP pass, all the car packs and everything. Which I was actually really tempted to get, but then I started playing the game and I was like, oh, I remember why it's probably not a good idea to get all that stuff unless I like really am into the game, because like you can play that game for a long time, but you can also just leave it. Like Horizon was out for like what? When did that come out? Like 2017, I think 2018 maybe.
The first one.
No, Horizon 4.
Oh, 2019, I think.
Okay, so if it's only been out for like, I actually think I might have to check that, because it's. I feel like Horizon 4 is one of those games you can literally leave it and just come back to it and play it for like an hour at a time, like once every couple of weeks, and it'd be fine.
Sure.
Like you're not really going to be missing out on much, so like unless you're the type of person who needs to play all the events all the time. September 28th, 2018. So it's been out.
Oh wow. Okay, that's longer than I
Been
thought.
out a little over 3 years. Yeah, I feel like it's Horizon 5 is going to be around for a while. It's probably going to be on Game Pass for the next 3 years, probably. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's some games on Game Pass they just can't get rid of at this point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm hoping that they don't get rid of that for a long time. I feel like, I mean, they might even just leave it on there for a year and hope people who played it like get fed up. But the fact that it's bringing in so many people, they might just leave it on there forever now.
Well, I think it's their first party, Jay. They will. They'll just leave it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is great. Great news for racing fans.
Yep, I like
Jay,
it.
let's move over to your topic, mate. Jay, your topic this week I think is Pokemon.
Oh, it was Pokemon. I can't remember if I changed it or not. Yeah, so Pokemon BDSP, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, BDSP for short. Super easy on the tongue. Nice to say. I love it when they do that.
Hey man, you got any BDSP?
Yeah, exactly. Like it kind of sounds like something just like easy to say and weird, but I feel like when Sword and Shield came out, it was really hard to say that in like a shortened version, because it was like SHSW, but it's like really it's too long to say, right? So BDSP is just nice and easy. There's a lot of leaks coming out at the minute, so I've basically seen like majority of what's going on in the game, which is fine because that's like just part of the Pokemon culture at this point.
When does it come out, mate?
It comes out in 8 days, so on the 19th.
19th. Yeah.
Which is next
How
Friday,
exciting.
a week tomorrow. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Dude, you talking about... I'm not trying to interrupt you, by the way, but you talking about getting a new Pokemon game is like... It already makes me want to buy it, even though I don't have a Switch and I couldn't give a shit. That's great.
Well, part of the reason why I think they're releasing the remake of BDSP, or Diamond and Pearl, is because it's actually going to tie into the Arceus game that's coming out in January next year. Because the Arceus game is set sort of in like a pre-modern Pokemon world where it's kind of like ancient Japan, but for Pokemon, and it's in the Sinnoh region, which is the same region that BDSP is set in. So you're kind of playing like the original futuristic version of Diamond and Pearl in BDSP, and then you're playing like the very very past, almost like I think it's set in almost like a Ghost of Tsushima type era, like maybe a little bit, maybe like the 1600s type era of Japan, where it's all like very like shogun-y and samurai and all that kind of stuff, but with Pokemon. So, but there's going to be a tie-in where if you actually play BDSP and you get to a certain point, you'll actually find out about like there's going to be some sort of like weird history and lore that crosses over with Arceus, and like having to find out about all the Legends game and everything. So once you get to a certain point in these new games that remakes that are coming out, you'll actually find out more history. You basically just unlock more history and lore to do with the Pokemon games that was already there, but we just didn't know about yet. Like I feel like a lot of people don't realize that Pokemon games are all like linked. It's all like it's obviously all the same universe, but they're a lot more linked than what I think people understand. So
because it's called Pokemon Legends Arceus, right, or something like that. Is there plans, do you think, to make more of these Legends games?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think the whole thing with it being Arceus is like the god of Pokemon, right? It's the Arceus is like the thing that everything, the universe and space and time all came from. It came into that, and then went into Dialga and Palkia, which is the legendary Pokemon in BDSP. And then they split off into like Mew and a bunch of Mewtwo and a bunch of other like legendary stuff, right? So I have a feeling that they'll probably, because it's got this almost like the subtitle of Arceus, I reckon they'll change that Legends over to another thing for the future,
Right.
and they'll probably do another remake of another game, and then have a Legends game that comes out right after it to sort of tie in. Maybe, I don't know. It's all speculation at
So
the minute, but it's all very promising.
Have they like just expanded the Pokemon team to make 3 games instead of 2 then almost?
Yeah, because
kind of thing.
every 3 years they release a new generation. 2019 they released Gen 8 with Sword and Shield. So 2022 is when we're supposed to be getting Gen 9. But 2022 is like the same year that Arceus comes out, and like within a year of the remakes coming out, which all seems a bit kind of like tight in the minute, a bit close. So yeah, a lot of people are speculating that the Gen 9 might not be coming until 2023 or 2024. You know, we might be missing out.
So they make the remakes as well as the new gen stuff as well.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
There's going to be 3 Pokemon games within the span of a year, hopefully, which is unheard of at this point.
Yeah. So BDSP.
I know.
Only on.
You'll get used to it. Trust me.
I know. Only on Switch.
Yeah.
Are you liking the look of it? Are you really?
Yeah,
excited
it's weird because it's definitely not one of the better looking Pokemon games. So what they've done is they've deliberately made the outer world of Pokemon like the way you know how like
the big map.
No, sort of like you know how Fire Red and Leaf Green had the sort of like small characters with like the small bodies and the big heads. They've sort of done that bit in like they've basically made Leaf Green like they've made the original Pokemons, but in like a chibi, like a chibi version. You know what chibi is, right?
No.
Okay, chibi is basically like a company that made these figures that had like really big heads but small bodies. It's sort of like a style of characterizing a character. Like you can buy like different figurines in like a chibi style. It basically just means they've got a large head. A lot of Final Fantasy games have done chibi style.
Oh, okay,
if you looked up, you'd know. But yeah, so they've basically done like
like Funko Pop.
Yeah, but chibi is the official label for it, I guess.
Like FF15 Pocket Edition.
Yeah, exactly. That's all chibi. That's chibi style as well. Chibi. So yeah, they've sort of done that old Pokemon bit in like a 3D, but then once you go into like battles, it's actually like more detailed than previous games. So they've made like parts of it like an evolution, but other parts of it just like a 3D version of old things they've done before. So it's almost like a half and half of like things that are amazingly improved and things that are just slightly changed to make them so they're not as developer intensive, I guess. Because if they'd made the outer world like just traversing around part of Pokemon very detailed like they had done Sword and Shield, it would have taken them a lot longer to make. So they needed to make a quick game that was also like an improvement in some parts and just impressive overall. But it needed to be like cheap enough and quick enough so they could get it out while also developing Arceus, which is like a massive evolution on Sword and Shield. It's basically Legends of Zelda but for Pokemon. That's basically what they've just developed. And then they've also got to make this third game, which is the Gen 9, and then hopefully that's going to be even more than Arceus. So.
Are they charging full price for these games?
Yeah, full price for all of them. Although if you pre-ordered them in the right time window, you could save yourself a decent amount of money on them. So.
And you've pre-ordered both?
Yeah, and I've also pre-ordered Arceus as well.
Are they
ready.
Digital, I assume?
No, these are physical. Nintendo Switch, yeah. So Switch it kind of lends itself to being physical, because if you download the size, the memory on the Switch isn't that big. So if you download stuff, you're just gonna it's gonna be inundated and you're gonna be full very quickly. So I found that getting physical Switch is just so much easier because there's almost no downloads. Like there's almost no room that it takes up. The save space is just tiny.
I don't want to, Jay, but every time I talk to you about Nintendo, just gives me another reason why I hate them so much. But I don't want to hate. Let's stay on Pokemon.
I'm actually curious what the Switch memory is. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Very good. Well, was there anything else you wanted to discuss Pokemon-wise?
Just that I'm going to be playing that, and I'll keep the podcast updated on where I'm at with it.
Are you planning to finish both of them?
I think what I did with the previous Pokemon, I got both Sword and Shield. I basically just like because each of them had different Pokemon in them. Like there's certain
So you
Pokemon
just
you can't get.
far
So I'm just gonna get as far as I want to on both
need
of
to.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're
Jay,
there.
would you like me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I think you should probably go first.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've definitely,
guys.
even before we begin, I'm probably going to lose this one. And I honestly don't care because I'd rather lose this one.
That's not fair though, because I was arguing against a point which I personally didn't believe in last time.
Well, there we go, and we're probably the same. I feel like whenever we're against anything here, so we're not really going to be like against it. We're just going to be like whatever. But
we try.
Yeah.
So sometimes, guys, me and Jay want to debate some stuff in the video game universe, and we did it before with are video games the best form of entertainment? And I think we both enjoyed it quite a bit, so we're doing it again. This time, we are debating whether DLC is good or bad. If you don't know what DLC is, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast.
Downloadable content, right?
It's downloadable content.
Yeah, that's going to say.
I will make the first point. I've got a few points. I'm fairly confident in my argument, actually. So, point number one. It's a pretty obvious point. It's more of the game. So if you love
that was what I was afraid of.
If you love playing the game, it's more of it.
Oh god. Yeah, that's actually my kryptonite right there. It's just that one line. It's like, oh god, yeah, you're right. It is just more. I guess my counter to that would be.
Go on.
But if it's a bad game, why would you want more of it?
Great counter. Haven't got a counter.
Boom, roasted.
What are you gonna do?
Boom.
Don't buy the DLC if it's a bad game. You know
That's true.
Don't buy the game if it's a bad game.
That's true. But you might not know, like Avengers, like you know. You might have thought it was going to be a good game. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right, what's your first point?
DLC should just have been in the game in the first place. Should have been included. Shouldn't have been an extra. Shouldn't have had to have paid extra for it. You know?
Okay. So my counter to that is, as long as the game has provided you with either the entertainment or the hours that you personally desired from the purchase price, I don't think you should be greedy enough to then go, oh, well, the DLC could have been in the game anyway, kind of thing. Because if you've already... Okay, so for instance, a good example, in my opinion, Mass Effect 3, okay? They had this From Ashes DLC.
Dude, I have that in my notes.
They have that day one.
Yeah, I literally have written down DLC should be in the game, Mass Effect From the Ashes. I literally have that written down.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Dude, that's kind of insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone was like, well, clearly that's just a cash grab.
Yep.
My view is that game's already 60 hours long.
Yeah.
So that's your 50 quid back. We usually say on this show.
So are we saying that there's like there should be like a rule in depending on how long the game is, DLC should have like a slightly different sort of like eligibility depending on how long the game is? Like DLC should like cost a certain amount depending on how long or how big your game is. That kind of sounds kind of like we're getting like a bit too political now, you know?
Well, so for instance, when we talk about FF15, you were like, "Oh, that DLC kind of sounds like it should have been in the game." Whereas, I would disagree in the sense that the game was big enough, the core game was big enough anyway. Personally.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I think had that DLC been in the game, I think it would have made the story a bit more coherent. I think unless it was obviously like a choice of the like having gaps in between time, kind of made it a bit more mysterious, and then you enjoyed it more because of that.
True.
Yeah.
I would also counter that by saying the game might not launch if they try and release the DLCs with the game, because they would take more time on the game.
Okay. Yeah. No.
So you might be waiting long. You
don't even have a counter for that. I totally agree with you, actually.
But yeah, good stuff. Okay, my next point. It's substantial, but not usually essential. So it doesn't usually impact the story of a sequel, let's say, to a significant degree.
Yeah.
But it can develop the characters in the story which are already present in the game. Now, I have got an add-on to this, but if you would like to counter, then please go ahead.
I feel like the only thing I really can say is that obviously that's not always the
next
way.
Point.
So
if it is essential, then it expands on the game in remarkably big ways, such as AC Odyssey, where
and
spoilers
Iki Island.
And Iki Island,
yeah,
where spoilers for AC Odyssey, you have a child in the DLC, and you see the true ending of the game's events with present day Layla,
like,
where she
that's
murders
okay.
someone.
So, like, the end of that DLC could have easily been the end of the entire game.
Yes.
And probably should have been the end of the entire game. But they said they chopped off the end of the game, split it into 3 pieces, and made you pay for it after the fact.
I would argue they made the game and then made an additional 40 hours of content and charged you justifiably.
Apples to oranges, my dude. Okay? Pears to limes. What are we talking about here, okay?
But, like, I'm saying that if it is essential, then you want to buy the DLC because that's amazing.
Yeah. It's smart. It's, it's smart in that it's every way to get more money out of the people in that way, It
is smart. But, like I say,
ruthless.
It would usually be done in a way where it's not essential to buy. But I think AC Odyssey is the case against that. But most.
So I think what we're saying is it's very. There's a lot of variables,
Yeah.
It's very pick and choose,
What's your next point, bro?
I was actually going to bring up about microtransactions and loot boxes.
Yeah.
Because technically they are DLC.
Yes.
They are downloadable additional content for games. I think a lot of people make the argument that loot boxes and microtransactions are basically like, let's say you have 100% of a game, you take 10% of that and chop it into 300 different pieces, but to be able to acquire all those pieces, you have to spend money to unlock boxes at the chance of then getting those pieces. So really, you're only paying for a certain amount of the game, but then you've got to pay a hell of a lot extra for the chance of getting the rest of it. And I think if we're going really deep into it, can be obviously there's been a lot of talk in the news about loot boxes and microtransactions almost being like a gambling type thing for kids. And I think that, to the argument and the debate we're having, is bad. Counter.
Great point. I'm not sure I have a
counter. I feel like it's difficult, right? I feel like we're at 1-1 right now. Or maybe even 2-1 to you.
The only thing I would say on that is if you don't want microtransactions in a game, don't play a free game and just buy it.
It's true.
But I know that's not always the case.
No, sometimes you can get paid games that still have microtransactions and loot boxes. Like Overwatch is a good example. Avengers is strangely a good example. You have to pay the full price for that, but then some of the microtransactions and DLC stuff. The DLC is all free, but the microtransactions are obviously boosted stuff that is just pay to win type stuff. So.
And I haven't really got a counter against that because it is gambling.
It's difficult, man.
Simple as.
Thing is, it's enjoyable. I'm the kind of person who indulges. I've spent many a penny on loot boxes in Overwatch, for example.
But you're a consenting adult.
But yeah, I am that, and I obviously was making my money from my job. And also, I think I haven't done it for years and years. I only did it for a short period of time while I was still playing and enjoying the game. But because I'm not doing that anymore, it's fine that I've just completely stopped paying for all that kind of stuff. I think I got my fill, but maybe it wasn't worth it in the end because I'm not playing it anymore.
If I was being a mean piece of work, you could argue it's up to the player. They don't have to buy the loot boxes.
Yeah.
It is purely creating an option for them.
I think that's both an argument for and against, right? It's just if you don't want it, then don't buy it.
Right.
Because it can exist, but
Point 4 for me, ish. It can whet your appetite for a series or a game, so that the wait for the sequel doesn't seem as unbearable.
Yeah, like a bridge, right?
like a bridge.
Yeah.
And I think we're actually getting to the point again, back to AC, that they are making so much DLC now. They're almost bridging the entire gap of development from one game into another, kind of thing.
Because most ACs come out either a year or two after, right?
Right.
And most DLC roadmaps for AC games last anywhere from a year to 2 years. So.
Right.
And sometimes longer. Like I think Odyssey had like what was it, like 2 or 3 years that the DLC took to come out.
I think it was 2 years.
Yeah, which is pretty long.
I'm pretty sure
honestly.
it was close. I want to say, Jay, the last DLC for that game came out like months before Valhalla.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong about that, but
I think Final Fantasy.
Boy,
maybe.
Counter.
So what was the argument? It was that
it'll whet your appetite, so you don't have to wait for a sequel.
What if there's no sequel coming? Then it's not even a bridge, right? It's just more of the same stuff. So I guess if you wanted to enjoy, if you were waiting for a sequel but there wasn't going to be one, DLC might just be a bit of a waste. It's about as much as I can say. Just again, it's one of those things where it's either or. Like if you enjoy the game enough, you'll pay for it. If you don't enjoy it, you won't pay for it.
I've got an argument for you, Jay. Actually, you could say, well, all the effort I want in the DLC, like all the effort that's gone into the DLC, I would rather they put into the sequel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good point. Well done.
Like,
yeah, all that
you,
development time, all that money, definitely. But the thing is, I think for you could say that all that DLC is funding the sequel.
Boom. We're swapping sides, baby. We're swapping sides. Oh my days.
Yeah, we're helping each other out. That's what we're here.
Dude,
what we're here to do.
I really want the numbers of how many people play DLC, because it's got to be high enough that they make it to cover the cost and make profit, but it's got to be low enough because there's no way, 50% of Valhalla players are playing the DLC. No. There's just no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like they obviously figure that kind of stuff out, right? With like test groups or whatever. They'll just like market research. They'll just have to figure out exactly. They'd have to obviously figure out exactly how much they'd have to sell of a DLC for it to make its money and then have a profit, and then they have to sort of calculate whether or not enough people are going to do that or not. So I think that's actually a good point you make about like how DLC kind of is. I actually made a point about how DLC could be a bit of a risk for a lot of companies. How that, regardless of, they might release it and it might cost a certain amount of money, but if not enough people buy it, then it's just wasted money at that point. And rather than them funding their next product, they've actually lost money from having spent all that time and money having developed the next thing. So, yeah,
and that's definitely happened.
Could be a risk,
for sure.
Yeah, wasn't there a game recently that a company made and they lost 53 million just because the game got cancelled or something?
Yes, Take-Two.
Yeah, I wonder what that was.
Yeah, I think there was a rumor going around that they cancelled Hangar 13's game. I'm not sure what it was. I was
a lot of money, man.
A lot of money. I was under the impression they were making the next Bioshock, but I don't know.
I guess we'll never know. In the words of Kanye West.
Oh, and I didn't know whether you knew you were quoting that.
Of course I do, man.
Okay, what's your next point, mate?
I think that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, no, there was one more.
Go on.
Something about leaving you with FOMO. If you can't either afford the DLC, or if you can get it, or like maybe let's just say you can't get the DLC for whatever reason, and all your friends or like a bunch of online people have it, and you're missing out on like potential things that would make your experience better had you gotten the DLC. You then have that FOMO that comes along with it. That's just like the last thing I got.
Yeah, I mean, my counter would be, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to get the DLC.
Yeah, I feel like there'd have to be a really good reason, right?
Yeah. Also, I feel like me and you are like some of the only people I know who are excited about DLC.
It just depends on the DLC and the game. I'm trying to think now, like the last DLC I got excited about was Iki and AC stuff.
Right.
Although weirdly, you might not know, but I think Back 4 Blood is getting some DLC. It's got like his roadmap just came out for the next 3 months.
Oh, okay. Right, okay.
It looks okay. I'm not really sure about it in a minute. But I'm still kind of excited about what the Wonderlands DLC is going to be like. Because we spoke about this, about how Wonderlands didn't really seem like big enough of a game to have DLC, but it has a season pass, so there must be something.
And I'm not being funny, Jay, but if Borderlands 3 season pass is anything to go off by, then
yeah, it should be bloody brilliant.
You're very excited for that game, aren't you?
I'm excited, but very skeptical in that I still think it might be bad. I have to hold that just in case it is bad. Then I can be like, oh well, at least I thought it was potentially. Like it's not going to be because it's a Borderlands game basically. So yeah. I think the only bad Borderlands game that's come out is the Telltale stuff.
Whoa, Tales from the Borderlands is great.
Nah, cut it.
You upset me.
The only Telltale game I like was the Walking Dead first one. That's the only one I played and the only one I like.
Oh, season 2 is great, but fair enough. I'll that's another debate for another time.
They're fun to watch,
Jay,
not fun to have.
Interesting.
They're more like watching someone play a TV show. That's kind of what Telltale games are to me.
I mean, people do watch people watching TV shows. It's called Gogglebox.
There we are.
There we go.
We found the market. We found the people who enjoy that kind of thing.
Oh, shit.
Brilliant.
I was just going to end this little debate, Jay, with a very positive note.
Go on, then.
Obviously, we only play select DLC, but I was just going to say, I think I already discussed this on the show, but I was just going to say, I can't remember the last time I played a bad or average DLC. Like, I think developers have made really, really great DLCs for the last few years now from the games that I've played. Like,
yeah, I feel like depending on your opinion on the original game, I guess you could say the Avengers DLC wasn't the best.
But it's free, right?
It is free, so yeah, you can't really complain.
Yeah.
If it's free, you can't complain.
I was thinking more, your Icky Islands, your ACs, your... see, this is where I struggle.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we've gotten to a point now, but unless we played the game within the last month, we've just forgotten about what we played. Oh, I feel like I need to have a poster on my wall of just all the games I've played in the last 2 or 3 years. Because the second I try to think of it, I just go blank. I'm like, I can't remember what I've played.
Dude,
I've had a bit of a weird spell the last 2 or 3 years when it comes to games. Oh, he's really thinking. He's got his thinking face on. No, anyway, you're good.
Last segment of the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Pixel Perfect.
My dad had a go at me for this a little while ago. I think he only just recently watched. Like, he literally watched the last episode today, and he was like, how did you not get the Fable one? I'm like, I got the Fable one.
Oh, Mark, man. Yes.
What?
Yes.
I got it, man. It's just I couldn't remember if it was 1 or 2. It's not.
Basically, with the help of my production team, we have pixelated some game covers for Jay.
I have to get close to this one.
And he's going to describe what they look like to you, pixelated, and then we're going to reveal the game. It is a bit more of a visual game. However, it
just gives you an excuse. Check out the buddy VOD.
Well, that's good
point. Check out the video, man.
Good point, Jay. Ta-da.
Okay, I totally forgot as well. So this is the first. Oh god, I don't know what this is. Oh no!
Okay, we're on the first.
Oh no!
Game.
I don't know what it is.
He's looking.
I'm really annoyed because if I usually know, I'm like, yes. Oh no, I know what it is.
Hold on, Jay. Hold on. Before you go there, me and Elle have made these difficult.
I think I know what this is. Oh, I really hope I do know what this is because I'm gonna be so bummed.
Okay, so what does it look like, Jay?
Okay, so it looks like almost like a sunset in the background. With almost like, well, actually no, it kind of looks like a night sky at the top.
Yeah.
And then some sort of either like flame or like really, really like weird sunset, and then you've got sort of like almost like a tree in the middle to me.
Yeah.
Almost, and then around that you've got like either like darker flames or just like leaves, like brown kind of orangey leaves. It just kind of looks like a really strange night day painting. But because I think I know what it is, I'm trying to like not say what that is instead.
Yeah, no, you're doing well. So Jay, what game do you think it is?
I think this is the original Doom cover.
This is the original Doom
cover.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wow. That's kind of
Boom.
yeah. There it is.
Boom.
Do you know how I
Dude,
got
look
that?
at the guy in the. Go
I
on.
got that because of the green that he's wearing. 100%. I thought the green. That's Doom. That's so Doom. Wow,
Look
that's
at his
ID.
pec. Look at this demon in the bottom left. Looks horrible.
Yeah.
It looks like a human.
It's great
Oh,
artwork for the time though. That would have been like
yeah.
next level stuff back in the day. What year did Doom come out? Like 80 something? Or like maybe even like late 80s, early 90s?
I don't know, mate.
I feel like my time frame for like old games is really bad.
Me too.
Doom original
Jay's
release
looking up.
date. I have to check,
He's
man.
breaking the rule.
Alright, have a guess. You said 91?
Yeah.
93.
Oof.
Wow. That's like around the
Okay,
same
message-
time as actually, when did Final Fantasy VII come out?
Message for L.
Oh,
If
what's
you
this
can
one?
stop getting images that are from other places with trademarks on them, that would be appreciated. Or just put our trademark on it.
97. Wow, I was way
I'm
out.
not sure we're
Okay.
allowed to do that, actually. Actually, maybe we are. Okay, Jay. Next up.
I don't think I know what this is. God damn it. I mean, I kind of want to say GTA again, just because it's got that sort of weird, like, quadrant-looking thing to it. Right, okay, so this is how it looks. It's almost like a little bit like a GTA cover, in that it almost looks like it's got 6 quadrants of color. So in the top right, you've got a sort of like a light blue quadrant. In the top left, you've got like a mixture of beiges, oranges, and white, and like pink. In the sort of middle quadrants, you've got orange and green, and in the bottom quadrants, you've got black and yellow. So I haven't. This one's like a really hard one because the block. I will say the pixels is like are massive. So I'd have to like. Oh, when I squint, I'm getting a kind of a better like thing of it. Oh man. Okay, I kind of feel like the bottom left, the yellow, is almost like a foot. It almost looks like a face to me now. It kind of looks like the middle bit is like a lips, and then the bottom or the top left and the top right is like eyes.
That's enough squinting. That's enough squinting.
Well, yeah, but I kind of feel like I don't know. I feel like I should know this. I'm gonna have a guess.
Okay.
Of like I know I'm probably gonna be way off.
Okay.
But I feel like it's either a Ratchet and Clank game or a Jax and Daxter game.
Okay.
And that's like the best guess I have. I feel like it might even be like Jax 3 or something.
So your guess is 2
I don't know why.
Series.
But yeah, I kind of feel like it might be either of those, but I'm probably like way off.
I am going to need a game.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to say Jax.
Okay. It's not.
What the hell is this?
in fact the Nintendo classic Super Mario
Jeez,
Brothers.
I wouldn't have got that in a million years. That was like way too pixelated for me to ever get that. I think I've only ever seen that front cover like once in my life.
Yeah, me too.
Like to me, Super Mario is like there's a lot of green, there's a lot of blue, and there's a lot of yellow. Like it's the sort of like the 2004 Mario versus the 80s Mario. Yeah, I would have never got that. That's cool though. I like that one. That's cool.
Dude, we went to the recycling centre and I was wearing white overalls with a red top. And I
Oh
got there
no!
and he was like, "Oh, you look like Mario." And I was like, "Yeah," and I was in green, I look like Luigi.
You need to show that to me. You need to show that to me. You need to take a picture of you in that and just show it to me. That's pretty hilarious. Oh my god.
Last game, guys. Last
game. No.
Now, I know this. But will Jay know?
Damn it. I feel like this is a game that I should know. So it looks like a jar of water.
Dirt.
I got a jar of dirt. It does though. It kind of looks like an orange lid with a jar with an orange lid, and it looks like it's got a white foot for some reason, and it's just got a really weird just water in the middle of it with like a yellow background. Damn it! This is like really
a good explanation. It does. Look
it's like really like simple. So I'm trying to think. This might be like an arcade or like an indie game because of how simple it looks. I kind of want to say Cuphead, but I know that's wrong.
Okay, so you've got a tanned background with a jar of water and a red line above it, right?
That looks like a lid.
Oh, a lid. Okay, sure.
Like to me, I genuinely have no idea. If I had to guess,
go on.
I feel like I have to say Cuphead just because of the yellow background. I have to say Cuphead. I know it's not, but that's my guess.
Sure.
I'm
So
going to
it
be
is,
so
in fact,
pissed.
Jay,
I'm going to be so
the
pissed.
original,
Don't you dare.
the only Legend of Zelda.
Oh my! I would have never got that in a million years. These are too old. My dad
Okay.
probably would have got all these. Jesus Christ.
Feedback: too old. Too old. So there we go.
I liked it though. That was good. The Doom one I liked a lot because I knew what it was.
I assume you have seen these
I like the
covers
theme.
at some
I
point.
like this Zelda one. I don't know if I've ever seen this one. Genuinely don't know if I've ever. This might be my first time ever seeing this cover.
It oozes.
I might have seen like a variation on it,
classicness.
maybe.
Look at it.
Yeah, it looks very old and classic.
It does. It does.
You don't get artwork like that
Great.
anymore. I'll tell you that right now.
No, you don't. Very good, Jay. Very good.
So the theme
Very
of
good.
this week was old.
Yeah, I just said I'll get some old
Like
games
90s and
up 'cause those
80s
too
type
good.
stuff. Okay, yeah, that's good. That was good. I enjoyed that. A lot. I feel like there should be a theme each week. That's smart.
That's kind of what's happened because it's
Yeah,
just
man.
easy to find the games when there's a
when there's a theme.
basically.
Yeah, it also helps me then because as soon as I pick up on the theme, I'm like, right. If I should have like figured out that because the second game was Mario and the first one was Doom, I should have gone, well, the third one has to be an older one. If I had thought of that, I probably would have had a better guess.
Well, moving forward, that can be a line of thinking.
Yeah, it might be worth giving me like just what the theme of the week, and then I might have a better idea of what the rest of them are like. But,
Depends how good you are, because I don't want to give you the theme.
yeah, I was gonna say if you don't give it
like
to me, it might make it more interesting and me trying to guess what it is. I don't know.
We'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear.
Yes.
We'll play it by ear. I'd just like to close out this week's show with a quick quote from one of my favourite philosophers.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot about the quote.
Apparently, he said this.
Is it
We
Nietzsche?
can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light.